All right, welcome to the Neutral Zone, Season 2, Episode 16. Now, I never thought that when the Neutral Zone took that one season break, that we would have so much demand to come back. I didn't think that there would be more demand for the Neutral Zone, but there actually is more demand for the Neutral Zone. There is the Neutral Zone with the Southsiders as our special guests here, the champions, everybody's favorite team. We're going to talk to them. We're going to get live with them. We're going to get into the details of what they have done to become a successful franchise. Stomps and I are honored this evening to have you guys sample set of the Southsiders. I'm sure you guys will speak on behalf of your teammates. But guys, we're pretty pumped to have you. So Stomps, you want to have these guys introduce themselves real quick?
Yeah, go ahead, guys. Go ahead, Steve. You start.
Yeah, my name's Steve Nevin, forward on the Southsiders. First time, long time. Glad to be here.
The Nevinator.
My name's Eddie Urban. I'm also on the Southsiders, and I'm a forward as well.
Good to have you.
Go get him, Jer.
All right, Jeremy Wargen, forward on the Southsiders, also the captain.
That's what I like to hear. Yeah. I'm Alex Marcinkowski. I've been on before, Southsiders, all around everything, Woo.
Excited to have you, you four gentlemen here. Steve, Jeremy, is your name Wargin? Because I always thought it was Wargin.
It is Wargen. It is Wargen. Everybody pronounces it Wargen, so I don't ever get bothered by it, but it is Wargen.
Wow. So Nav, you got gigs and jigs, and you got Wargen and Wargin.
Yeah, and you know what? It's natural
style
for me to call him Wargin because that's where I go when I see the G. It's going to be Wargin for me, my man.
Beautiful.
Well, this is great stuff. This is great stuff. What we're going to do is, as usual, we're gonna go through a couple of current events real fast though, because the show is really dedicated to you guys. We're on here a lot, so we're gonna go through this pretty quickly. We're gonna cover a couple of current events, and can you guys all see the screen? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Hey, Nav, can I challenge our audience real quick here?
You bet.
Hey, so tell me, last episode, how many likes did we get?
10 likes.
All right. So, and how many views?
I believe we're up to 131 views, which is a little light, but the likes are light too.
But we appreciate everybody who does support the show. But please, I'm challenging our audience that we have at least 50 likes to this episode. It takes a half a second to click like, whether you're in YouTube or whatever. I do it all the time. So that's my challenge to the viewing audience.
That's cool. So for those of you out there, the millions and millions of our fans and viewers of the Neutral Zone, please hit a like. And of course, I can't have an episode without asking you to subscribe. However, I did make a promise to my co-host this evening that I wouldn't talk about a certain topic. And I'm like one to keep my promises, right? So I wanted to sort of start off with a slide here that I thought about this evening. And Stomp, I would like you to read this.
If you don't like the Neutral Zone, you should get tested. One of the symptoms of COVID is cold taste. Wow.
For those of you who don't want me to talk about the virus, I won't. But I'll talk about at least encouraging you to go get tested if you don't like the show. All right. Enough of that. So let's talk about some current events. And then we're going to get into some really recent discoveries on what is happening in the world of science around hockey players as well who suffer from traumatic brain injury, because we know concussions are big in the game. I didn't want to forget about the tournament. We had the tournament 2 weeks ago, and Stomps and I, after the show, we were talking about, some of the players and some things that we missed. And we just kept kicking ourselves saying, hey, we missed certain things. So we're just going to quickly touch on a few things. And then we're going to quickly get into the Southsiders discussion, and Stomps is going to take it away from there. But Stomps, you brought something to my attention last night. Did you see what happened to Nathan McKinnon?
I saw it. We were at the rink watching it when it happened. Yes.
So is it season-ending injury, career-ending? Like what's the level of that injury?
I don't think so. I mean, there was a lot of blood on the ice. I think they ended up, from what I could see, right? We didn't have the sound on, but they actually went and reviewed the play, and they only gave Tyler Hall 2-minute penalty. So when you seen it in the slow motion, he hits him, and McKinnon's head really snapped back violently, but I don't think he hit him in the head, which was weird. I don't know if it was just a reaction, and then it kind of knocked him off balance, and it almost looked like he hit his face on the ice.
Oh, wow.
Which I think what led to the blood. But he got up. I mean, he skated off on his own and went to the locker room for repairs. So I don't think it's long term.
Good to hear.
It was kind of scary, middle of the ice hit.
Right. Well, we hope to see him back. Stomps, I got a question for you. Like, I don't know if you guys from the Southsiders seen this image here. It's all over social media. I think there was like 20,000 likes on the first day. I haven't been keeping track, but we got two formidable hockey players. Stomps, can you describe what's going on at this one particular play?
Well, it's what happens when somebody who's really fast runs into somebody who's really fat. So once in a while, I could stand somebody up and stop them there. So, okay, I got to tell a funny story now about last night's game and the scrimmage we had. So we played the gentlemen's club guys. So it was kind of the older guys against the younger, right? So it was a really good setup. No sign of Jeremy. He wasn't there at the beginning. So we're going along playing the game. When did you show up? Second period, third period? I don't remember.
No, I was out there for the start of the game. I was just on the bench for the whole first period and a half.
Oh, wow. Okay, so you're quiet, you keep it to yourself. Then all of a sudden you sneak out there, and I'm thinking it was one of the other guys. So of course here I am holding my ground at center ice, flies around me. And then as I turned to run and chase him, as he got closer to our net, he's doing his moves. I go, damn it, Jeremy. And of course he scores. So I was like, what the hell? So anyway, I thought it was funny. You had your way with me there. But, this photo's just from the tournament.
Well, I'm glad that Jeremy Warden played yesterday versus sitting at the bar the whole time with Frank like the week before. I'm sure you didn't drive all the way from home.
I was resting.
And by the way, Frank and Billy Jacques reffed last night. And let's just say it wasn't all that good. Billy probably called what could have been the all-time worst icing call I've ever seen. The ball barely reached the circles and he blew the whistle. But anyway.
And he's a guy that gets on the refs a lot. So it's nice to see some of these guys taking on the job so they can see how hard it is.
No, yeah, they were volunteers, so it was fine. But
great.
No penalties called, so it was good.
That's great. Now, let me ask you guys, we're going to get to the questions in a sec, but since we got these, I don't know where Eddie went. Is Eddie still here?
Yeah, I'm still
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
Let me make sure that I don't see every single person because of the view, but if you got, okay, regardless, you guys, there's 4 of you here. I wanted to ask you guys, this game is a high contact sport and you guys have a history of ice hockey. Have you guys, any of you ever experienced a concussion?
Yeah, I've had 3.
Okay. So not too many.
I probably had 1 or 2, but I don't know.
Yeah, not me. I mean, I've taken a couple good hits, but nothing major.
What about you, Eddie?
Me?
Yeah.
I probably had one. I'm not too sure. I would say one at least.
Okay. Well, I mean, you're a pretty elusive player, so I can see maybe you getting away from the concussions. But let me tell you something interesting. That I'm big on science, and I can't talk about certain things on the show. But you guys know Elon Musk, right?
Yeah.
So
Heard of them.
the CEO, Times Man of the Year. I think what he's trying to build here is pretty cool for hockey players and football players that experience traumatic brain injury. He's actually just completed a study on monkeys and mice where he can actually have people's thoughts control their actions in the sense of like you can think if I want to text Jeremy Morgan, all I have to do is look at my phone and say text Jeremy Morgan, and I can do that with my thoughts on the phone, and it's faster. So he tweeted this the other day. I thought it was cool. First Neuralink product will enable someone with paralysis to use a smartphone with their mind faster than using their thumbs. I'm a fan of this guy. I wish he could be the president, but regardless, I don't know if you guys think that's cool, but I just think that's pretty cool stuff. Do you think it's possible? Do you think, Jeremy, this can happen?
I don't know. Like, I'm not gonna. That's beyond my pay grade. But it's pretty nutty to think about.
Well, in my opinion, if you roll the clock back like 20 years, 25 years, there's some things happening today you would never thought would be possible. And, who knows? It's interesting. I don't know how it could be used to treat brain injuries, but.
Right. But I think if you
I don't know.
guys, this might be a little bit before your time, Stomps, you know this show, and a lot of our viewers know this show. Do you remember Knight Rider?
Yeah,
The car that could talk, the car that could think, the car that
Michael
could.
Hasselhoff.
Yeah, David Hasselhoff. Anyways, everything's possible in this world. So what did we miss last week, Stomps? There's a couple of really important things we missed. I know you have a couple of things. Do you want to start off talking about some things we missed covering last week?
Yeah, I mean, last week's show was to cover the tournament, and we were just trying to hit on a lot of different things, and I think we did a pretty good job of it. But there were a few things that we bypassed, I thought. So, on the left there, you can see Clint Vogler made his grand return to ball hockey with the Toros in the tournament, and I think some of the younger guys, even perhaps our guests today, might not know Clint, may not remember him from, I don't know, 10, 15 or more years ago when he played ball hockey in our leagues. But he was definitely the GOAT, for sure. I mean, the guy, he has tremendous height and his reach, kind of like Alex. The height and the reach, you can't teach that stuff. And he was just tremendously skilled, and he comes back to the tournament. I don't think he's played ball hockey in years, and he was probably our top offensive guy. He took one of those Warbird guys down with a tremendous body slam that was very enjoyable. So so Clint was back. Miles had a great tournament. I think there were a number of people that had Miles played on multiple teams, as did a number of guys. He did a really good job. I wanted to mention the team Mayhem, and you guys, you can get Southsider guys can chime in on this because I know you played them twice in the tournament. Now, I did not get to see the round robin matchup, and as Nav likes to say, never underestimate round robin games. And I heard that it got a little chippy towards the end of that. Any truth to that stuff going on? Little of this, little of that.
I wouldn't say chippy. There's a lot of talk going on, mostly from Scotty and I. But not chippy. Nothing really physical that got out of hand.
I think it was a pretty clean game. It was definitely a good game.
Both games were really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw the semifinal game, which was excellent. You guys won, I believe it was 2-1 on a late goal. I just thought Frank did a really good job putting together this Mayhem team. You know, they have some
Absolutely.
real good talent on that team. I thought they did a great job. You know, they don't obviously didn't play together a lot. They did the one scrimmage the week before. So just wanted to mention them. You know, what do you think that, and am I missing anything else, Nav? I
No, I know
mean,
you talked about Miles. You know what I did? Like, I used to play with the Venom before I came over to the Toros, so I still had an interest to review the Venom goals. So they have this video that they prepare for teams. You guys probably got it done too, right? For the Southsiders, like a video. I think the videographer prepares a video for each team, and if they want to buy it, they can buy it. Did you guys get that?
We just kind of piggybacked off of the Mayhem games, and they videotaped the finals anyway. We didn't actually get the whole package.
Okay,
That's
well,
3 of our 5 games though, so.
right. So Ryan basically buys that all the time, or he subscribes to that. And I was watching that and I saw Miles. I mean, honestly, I felt like Miles scored almost every single one of their goals. Like, it was incredible. Like, he was on a tear. And I know you're watching, Miles, so we didn't want to forget you, buddy. And it was hard to recognize you because you're wearing that mask, but you do look very sharp in this picture, by the way. All right. Anybody else? Anything else we missed from the tournament? We talked about the refs. Hey, by the way, for you guys, the Southsiders, Stomps is giving free giveaways here. He's giving away stickers of the neutral zone. I expect each of you to put it on your helmet the way Stomps and I do. And we got a couple of guys. So please, Stomps, make sure you get these guys the neutral zone stickers.
I'm carrying them around in my bag every time I'm at the rink. Just ask me, and I'm happy to give you.
I know Eddie's going to be the first one to wear it on the south side. All right. Okay. So a couple of guys I don't want to forget. There was an interesting turn of events at the tournament. We had Freddie Coletta there, one of the heroes, one of the veterans, one of the leaders of Chicago ball hockey. He didn't have a team. He did hang out there. I think it was was it the Friday, Stumps? He was there Friday night.
Yeah.
And apparently he didn't have a team. And I'm just curious, like, where do you think he's going to go, Stumps, next year?
Well, he's a highly sought after veteran free agent. So I don't know. Perhaps he could join the Toros, maybe.
That would be nice. And, he's welcome. So, Freddie, just make sure you, in advance, you let people know you're going to play, because I think there was a lot of infighting within teams. They really wanted you, but they couldn't make it work for the roster, buddy. But we missed you out there on the floor. Any news on Chelly, Stones?
I know he's walking. So he's rehabbing, working his way back. I don't know what his status is for playing, though. Not sure.
Were you guys with him that weekend when he got that injury? Any of you guys, were you there?
Yeah, I was right there. Literally right there with him.
I heard it looked pretty bad.
Yeah, I mean, I saw it. Go ahead, Eddie.
I was right there. I didn't really see it happen. I just looked back and he was on the ground. I didn't think anything serious. And I'm pretty sure Frank had said before he had never seen Chelly not finish a game so we were all definitely surprised.
Wow. Well, we wish you well and glad you're recovering and look forward to having you back, Chelly. All right, Stomps, take it away. This is all about the Southsiders. Chicago's favorite team, like I like to say. Stomps, I know you got a packed lineup of questions for these fine-looking gentlemen here.
Well, before we get into that, though, Chicago's favorite team or Chicago's favorite organization, as you said, in promoting this show on Facebook, there's probably a lot of teams out there that might take exception.
It's all right.
Yeah, I agree. That's all right.
But, we love you guys. We're glad to have you on. Let me start by asking a quick question. And I think we talked about this on the women's episode we did. And I don't know, are all you guys products of Southwest ball hockey? Or some of you? See you guys.
I am.
Yeah, we all played there.
Does that organization still exist?
Yeah, it does actually.
Yeah, as a youth organization only though.
So future Palatine players or wherever NBHL are going to probably be feeding through the ranks. I mean, I think that's really interesting. That's been a long time organization, has it not?
Yeah, I think it's been around for like, I want to say 50 years, or maybe
Yeah,
more.
something like that, I think.
Wow. I speaking for myself, I mean, I only wish I had something like that when I was younger. Have a little more structure and stuff, but yeah, that's pretty cool. I mean, do you credit that with a lot of your knowledge of the game, your success, etc.?
Personally, for
I
me,
would think-
not at all. I had a lot of fun. It was a great time, but he aged out at like 16, and I didn't play until I was like 24 or 23 or something again. So I went through a big gap before I even played again. I credit Steve.
Thank you, buddy.
I would think so, because I'm kind of on the same. Well, we all are. You age out a little early, and then you stop playing for a while. I didn't start playing again, I think, for another like 4 years after that.
Yeah, I had a long gap too. I credit ice hockey more with the knowledge of the game. Ball hockey definitely taught me a lot of like the fundamentals of ball hockey though, and like the skill sets. But more knowledge came from ice hockey for sure.
Interesting.
And Southwest was cool. You know, we played a lot. We learned a lot from the coaches that were there. We had some good coaches, and I mean, traveling to Penn Hills was awesome doing that. But same thing, like after 16, I kind of fell off a little bit. I actually played a couple years in Palatine with I think Jeff Osborne. He had a team out there, but then after that, I kind of fell off till maybe 21 till I started playing in that Oak Lawn League. And then I met Jeremy Fredette, and then I started talking to Frank and Billy again, and then hooked up with Lou and started playing in Palatine again.
That's pretty cool. Hey,
So
Stump,
is Jeremy Fredette a legit Southsider?
He is in my eyes.
hey, you know what, Stump? Something just occurred to me as I was kind of looking at the screen here, and I was looking at Steve, and I realized Steve has a brother, Isaac, who they play together. And then we have Alex, who has a brother, James, who played with us on Dynamo. I don't think you guys played on the same team in the tournament, but you have a brother as well. And obviously Jeremy Wargen and Scott Wargen are brothers. What about you, Eddie Urban? Do you have any siblings that play the sport?
Yeah, I do. I have a twin sister, and she plays ice hockey. She stopped playing ball hockey. She played for Robert Morris. And then my brother, I try to get him out all the time, but he's not really into running anymore. He's good, but he played goalie in ice hockey and out in ball hockey.
Wow, it would be good to see him. Good.
I'll try.
Stumps, take it away.
Nav, you kind of stole my thunder there. I actually had a question prepared to talk about, the brother pairs that we have here. I wanted to focus a little more on Jeremy and Scotty.
Go for it.
Because when I look at these two guys, I mean, to me, Jeremy's kind of a stoic. He's a quiet guy, head down, get the job done. And Scotty is yapping. Certainly when I ref, he's always yelling at me about something. Talk about your what's the age difference, Jeremy, between you and Scott?
It's 2 years, 2 years age difference.
Okay. Cool. I mean, obviously premier hockey players, both of you. Alex, you and James, you're both big guys, like to play a little bit physical, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we played together in Dynamo, and then Steve, you and Isaac. I mean, obviously different size there. One plays D, one plays O. How do you find playing with your brother?
Oh, I love it. He's great. He's a great guy. It's really awesome to play with your family, and it's nice to have that chemistry between each other, to kind of know where each other is going to be and know how they work.
Yeah, it's interesting how you guys showed up on this show, and we got all these brother pairs. We've talked on the show before about there's quite a few father-son duos out there that play, and all in the family. I think that's cool stuff. Hey, let me ask you guys. I feel like the Southsiders have been kind of pioneers in working women into your team. And but I actually years ago, I mean, I had a couple of women that played on our Raiders teams at Palatine. But I mean, really, much more prevalent with you guys. Talk a little bit about that. How did that all come to be?
Well, they just played with us growing up, and then I've been dating Danielle for quite some time now, and we've always kind of been line mates and playing together like that. And her best friend's Larissa, so she's been playing with us and all that. And same thing with Eileen. I grew up with Eileen playing with her. She's always been our friend. We've always it's been fun playing with them.
Speaking of Eileen, special shout out to Eileen. I think she's out of state on an assignment.
Omaha.
A new job
Omaha.
where she's doing some real cool stuff. But I think the ball hockey community misses her. And I think we would have had a lot more games at Woodridge if she was around, because she prepared the floor, or she rounded up the troops to shovel the snow so we could play outside. And her mom makes some mean cookies.
Oh, she's the
I
Patty
missed that.
Mesler, and she
Yeah.
makes great fudge too.
Respect, yeah.
Well, the ladies are the masters of the cycle in hockey. We always marvel at that and how they work those play. And, and you guys blend in with them really nicely. So really respect how you seem to. I mean, I like to really watch things closely. I feel like even when it's a tight game and it's a big game, you're not afraid to put anybody on your team out there on the floor, right? I know some teams shorten their bench and they go with the best, right? Because we got to win this game. But you seem to have confidence in everybody. Am I seeing that correctly? Would you agree with that? Or
I would put that. That's a good question for Jeremy. Let's see what's Jeremy's leadership philosophy on that one.
So in the past, I have shortened the bench in certain games. It's more dependent on the flow of the game than anything else. Like this past tournament, I had no problems playing any line in any situation. I was super confident in everyone. Even in the last tournament, in the championship game, I was super confident in everyone, and everyone played the whole game. But I have shortened the bench in certain scenarios in certain games. But that's not a fault to anyone else. It's not their fault. It's just the way that I felt like the game was going, who was moving and getting the chances better than other lines were.
Got to go with the hot hand.
Yeah, that's great. Go ahead, Stomps.
well, what would you say if you have a playing philosophy? I mean, what I see out there is everybody gets back on D. You guys support the ball. You get back in your own zone. You have great breakout plays. Won't rush it or force it. You'll go back if you have to and kind of reset. Is that a conscious thing, or did it take a while to get everybody to buy into that kind of system?
Go
Ahead, Eddie.
Our captain has embedded it into our brains.
Yeah, I don't want to get benched, so I make sure to get benched.
Yeah, I won't lie. Previous to these past years working with Jeremy and understanding the game a lot more, I was a lot more of a hectic, crazy person, not really playing to any system. And now that I'm in this routine, it feels so much easier and so great to be a part of this kind of thing. And it's all thanks to that guy, Jeremy.
Yeah,
Jeremy
wow.
feels it.
Jeremy, man, sounds like you bring a lot of structure to the organization. Is that kind of how you grew up, with structure, or is that just?
Through ice hockey, we had structure. Ball hockey was much more loose, just go out and play. Which is why I credit ice hockey more to the knowledge of the game. But we took a lot of L's when I when I first like joined Team Chicago and stuff, we lost a lot of tournaments pretty badly, and I thought something needed to change, and just having a plan of what we're all going to do and where we're going to be in given situations has helped a lot. But mostly like all I did was like introduce it to these guys and the girls, and they really took it and put their work ethic into it, and it's not a success if they don't do that.
Well said.
That's great, man. That's really encouraging for the future of like, I mean, just think about what you guys can do with bringing in younger kids into that kind of philosophy with that structure. It can make Chicago competitive for many years to come. And that's what we want to see.
That's the goal.
Yeah. Take it away, Stomps.
Yeah, let's switch gears and talk about goaltending. So the Southsiders have been featuring one William Jacques, as you can see pictured there. As Frank said last night, the Southsiders are winning championships with a Raiders goaltender. But I guess my question, and I've played with Billy many years, but my question is, you know, you guys won the Chicago chapter, if you will, of NBHL, the debut league last summer, behind the goaltending of Ray. What's happened to Ray?
Nothing's happened to Ray. Ray's still our goalie for NBHL. We respect Billy's attitude and mindset and philosophy about the game, so we give him some playing time too. Try to keep it balanced and everyone gets involved.
Is there any other goaltender in our leagues that you would be happy to have backstop the Southsiders?
Troy is one. We like Troy. We've talked about Rocco in the past.
Well, those are some good young names for sure. All right, I got to go to you again, Jeremy. I got to ask you this question because you've been playing with us on the Toros for this Monday session. Can you talk just quickly about like how did that come about? Because I was really surprised to see you on the team. Obviously, you bring a lot to the table, and you've made us instantly credible again. And just wanted to get your thoughts on how that happened.
Well, like so. Green was supposed to be getting a good amount of new players coming in. And when we first created the league, or when we first did Mondays again, it was supposed to be fair and balanced. I'm of the opinion that if you make it to the championship game, you should lose a player from your team. So I volunteered to leave Green to keep it balanced, go to another team, help them. So yeah, like I'm just of the opinion that like if we're gonna do the balanced league on Monday nights, you make it to the championship game, I feel like you should lose a player, and that should go to a team that wasn't in the championship.
Wow, I've never heard anybody take that kind of a stance. That's pretty refreshing. Now let me ask you: the first time Blue matched up with Green, I heard a few things about this game. I had heard the scuttlebutt coming out of the Green camp was there's no way we let Jeremy score. And then I think you scored 18 seconds into the game, and then all hell broke loose after that. So, anybody want to take that? Alex was. I saw your reaction when I brought that up. And that's not directed at you at all. It's just, I just thought it was an interesting thing.
Yeah, that's okay. I don't know. I think speaking on behalf of Green, we just got in our own heads a little bit, and things got a little weird, and we just kind of fell apart really quickly. You said 18 seconds? I'd say like 18 seconds of the game, we fell apart pretty quickly. So
my hamstring was hurt too, so there's a ton of things going wrong.
Yeah, Steve was hurt, Eddie wasn't there, you know, all these excuses.
I got no excuses. We lost, and it was a product of our own play. So
do you guys work a little harder in the corners when it's against each other, knowing that you guys are competitive and, you know, you don't want to lose to each other, but you work a little harder, or is that consistent no matter who's in the corner?
Oh, absolutely. You go hard against everybody, but if it's somebody you know, you pick it up a little bit more.
Especially if you're Alex Quain.
Yeah, right. Yeah, ask this question like knowing Quain threw me face first into those boards.
That was tough, yeah.
Well, speaking of Alex Quang, I gotta, this is a light question, but you guys have a tradition of you win it all, you take the team picture, and there's no shirt on Alex. Where did that come from? And what's that all about?
So our first, or at least my first tournament for Team Chicago, our weekend ended pretty early on Sunday. We lost out like the 8 a.m. game, and for whatever reason, Quain had his shirt off, and I said, "Hey, put your helmet on. Let me take a picture of you." And ever since then, it's been a thing. So that was, I think, June of 2019.
Wow. Mark your calendars on that one. Yeah, I think I don't know if you guys remember in the 70s, there was the hockey team, the Philadelphia Flyers, when they were really good. They were known as the Broad Street Bullies, and they had a lot of characters, and they had a lot of just kind of interesting hair and facial hair. You guys kind of fit that mold, although you're not bullies in any stretch of the imagination, but just some good characters. And Alex is certainly one of them, for sure. For sure. Hey, do you think Nav and I, are we Southsider material? And if we're not, like, what would it take? What would it take?
Oh boy. I think
That's a no.
No. So like I'm glad you asked that question, because like Southsiders isn't about where you live. It is about how you play the game. We take a lot of people who back check incredibly hard, and come into their own zone, and they always have the right attitude. And like those are the things that I really look for, like in picking Southsiders. So like when you asked earlier if Jeremy Fredette is a true Southsider, like absolutely he's a true Southsider. Like it's all about your work ethic and the way you approach the game that makes you a Southsider, in my opinion.
Now, is it true that you've been kind of either working with or watching or whatnot other individuals, like let's say Patty Gleason?
Yeah, we've had Patty out to a couple of our practices on the South Side.
Alex, I was hoping that when Stomps asked that question, you would have just been nodding, saying yes right away. I couldn't believe you were contemplating that.
I mean, I like Patty a lot. He's a great guy.
Boy, they're just skipping right over us.
He'd rather take newborns than us. Oh man, it's all right. But I do want to ask you guys. Forget about bringing us on the Southsiders. How about honorary Southsiders and maybe giving us a jersey? You know, the Neutral Zone co-hosts get a Southsiders jersey. So every single game when you guys are playing, we can wear the Southsiders jersey and we can just cheer for you.
I think we could try to work something out like that.
There you go. There's your answer, Stomps. We're on the Southsiders.
Rock a logo on the jersey.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. Pick up a sponsor deal. You guys gonna sponsor us?
Yeah.
Yeah, all you got to do is put the sticker on your helmet.
Eddie's got it covered.
Let me see here. I got to look at my list of.
Okay, while you're doing that, can I ask Eddie Urban a question real quick?
Sure, go ahead.
So, Eddie, one of the things that a couple of folks, you know, they're interested in you as a player, but also as a person. Like, you're just one of the most friendliest guys at the rink. You say hi to everyone. You're a very cheerful guy. I want to ask you, when this interview's over tonight, what are you going to do to unwind?
I don't know. I'd probably eat. But no, we got a trip planned for this weekend, and I got to pack for that.
Oh yeah, you guys are heading to a tournament, right? Where's that in
Yeah.
Northeast?
Yeah, in Harrisburg.
Very cool. Well, good luck there.
Thank you.
We'll ask more about your favorite restaurants a little bit later on, but we'll get back to Eddie Urban and the rest of you guys. Stumps, go back to your questions.
I actually just have one final question, and that's a perfect segue. I was going to ask you guys, what are your plans tournament wise? And what I mean by that are you going to do all tournaments as Southsiders? Are some of you going to play with Team Chicago? Are you going to compete against Team Chicago? You know, what's going to happen with that going forward?
Oh, Frank gave me control of the upper team of Team Chicago last night. So I would hope that we're going to do a lot more Team Chicago tournaments. Eddie, Scotty, and I have a good amount of Saints tournaments lined up. But I would like to do Team Chicago. I don't know about the other guys.
That's pretty cool.
Any other thoughts on that, or?
I would say, yeah, I know us at least, we're very loyal to, where we started from, and Frank picked us up for Team Chicago, and I would like to continue playing with them. I think it's fun. I love everybody on the team.
Yeah, no, that's great. Honestly, I just love to play hockey. I try to play as much as I can. Team Chicago, I remember playing for Nighthawks and Team Chicago and all the different variations of them. I'm looking to play with the same people and build the chemistry we got, and just try to keep going for as long as possible.
Yeah, same. I try to go where these boys go.
We like to
Yeah.
stick together.
Yeah.
Yeah, we hope that happens. You represent the area well, obviously, and you go up to those Northeast tournaments, and you got a lot of teams from obviously up there that are really good, and sometimes you're the only team from this area up there, probably, and I think that's really awesome.
I think
We've
so
been
too.
asked.
Yeah, go ahead.
We've actually been asked quite a few times when we go to those the Northeastern tournaments if we're actually from Chicago or not. Like they don't ever believe that we're actually from Chicago.
Yeah, I think one of the first tournaments that we actually I got back into was with when Chico was running the Ball Hogs. And I think the only other time that we've been out east and there's been a team around our area was from Milwaukee.
Oh wow.
Was Chico our Chico?
Chico Patel, yeah.
Oh wow.
That must have been a while ago, right?
That was 4 years ago, I would say.
Eddie, for the life of me, for the first 2 years, I couldn't tell the difference between you and Scott Wergen. I thought you were the same person.
Yeah, no, we get that a lot. Usually they think Scott and I are brothers and not Jeremy and Scott.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the resemblance is uncanny between Isaac and Steve. You can tell they're brothers for sure. It might be that resemblance with the facial hair too.
Yeah, two handsome young men here.
That's right.
Indeed. So Jeremy, let me ask you this. Like we like to on these episodes, we like to sort of get to know the people personally. Like Stomp said, you're very stoic, you're quiet, but you're down to business, and you're a fierce competitor out there. What do you do actually on your free time? Like what do you enjoy doing outside of ball hockey or hockey?
So pretty much like my whole world revolves around like after work, I come home and I either play video games with all the boys here, or I go play hockey. So
All right.
I'm in 4 or 5 different leagues, and then I still find time to go and just play on my own outside of video games.
Okay, so on your free time, it's basically more hockey. That's what you're telling me.
more hockey and then some video games in there,
What about you, Alex?
Work's really taken over my life lately, but I try to get out and play the hockey, all as much as possible. But usually I do a lot of music on the side, play a lot of music, trying to get some projects off the ground and stuff, and lots of video games, of course. I mean, all of us were always playing together, but yeah, music and hockey, pretty much those are my loves. That's all I want to do. So
That's cool. And what about you, Steve?
Yeah, same. If it's, I mean, work's been like Marcinkowski, work's been taking over a lot of time. Tomorrow him and I are going to get together, play some music together. So that's always a good time. Same with Jared. We like to play video games together. And on occasions, I try to get some reading done in there.
Right. And Eddie, what about yourself, buddy?
Other than work in the wintertime, work really picks up for me. But when I'm free, I got a dog that is crazy and she gets mad at me when I don't take her on walks or go to play. Other than that, though, it's a lot of video games. Yeah.
That's pretty
Anytime
cool.
I drive around his neighborhood, I see him walking his dog.
Wow. So for those of you who are tuned in, you're watching season 2, episode 16 of the Neutral Zone with Stomps and Nav. Stomps, you said your questioning was over, and we're going to wrap up here shortly. I just had a couple more questions for the Southsiders. If that's okay with you guys, you could stick on for just a few more minutes here, if you don't mind. I like to ask this question to the guests, and sometimes we have this segment on our show where we ask you trivia questions, but we're not going to ask trivia here because I don't have any trivia questions. But what I do want to ask you is, I'm going to start with Alex on this one. Alex, who do you hate playing with or playing against the most in the league?
who do I hate playing against?
Yeah.
That's really tough. There's a lot of good competition out there. There's a lot of good players. I really enjoy playing against people who are faster than me, who are better hands than me. I always want to play against them, but that's not really the direction of who I don't like playing against, because I want that. So
Sure.
one of my favorite people out there is Lath. And I always find myself, whenever I'm against him, he really does a good job of guarding me and making sure there's no lane, no passing lane, no shot lane. I find him often just staring me down instead of paying attention to the game. And it really works well when it's coming defense end. So as much as I love Latham, I'm going to say it's
sure.
really tough to play against Latham.
That's a good one. That's a good one. I'm sure Latham would love to hear that. And you just gave away some of your secrets, and he'll be on you every single day. But,
That's okay.
What about Jeremy? What about you? Who do you hate playing against? And it doesn't need to necessarily mean that you hate the guy, but I mean, he covers you hard or he works hard against you. I mean, just a guy that you not necessarily struggle with, but you admire his competitive juices.
Can it be anyone?
Yeah, of course. And then you can't pick Stomps and Nav as much as you want voices.
No, I would pick Eddie then. Eddie does not let me get away from him. And he plays all the same areas that I'll play too. So like it's frustrating when I try to go and hide in the corner with the ball, and then Eddie just comes and attacks me.
What about you, Eddie?
Well, if it's not these three, one of them has to be Mike Sabatini. As a center, he does not let me win any faceoffs.
That's because he's
a cheater. Yeah.
And then I would say another one has to be John Kelly.
Oh yeah.
He is just good in every aspect of the game, and it is incredibly challenging getting around him.
I hope John Kelly's watching. You can hear that.
He's just working his way back.
Yeah.
I believe it was a knee injury. So, yeah, it was good to see him recently out there.
What about you, Steve? Who's a challenging opponent for you?
Oh man, I would say Bobby Dickinson. There might be a game I can get a couple past him, but majority of the time he's got my number. He has me, man.
I got to tell you though, Steve, last Monday, I think you had a full 4-goal game, leading the charge in your comeback against Team Red. So that was pretty impressive. I was reffing that game, so I had a bird's eye view of your shorthanded goal that tied the game.
Yeah,
Sent it to overtime, and then Eddie. Fortunately, I was standing right on the goal line because if I wasn't in the right position, I don't know if I would have even seen that thing go in the net because it was out in like a millisecond.
Yeah, that was a wicked shot by Eddie.
That's pretty awesome. Well, listen, again, we can't say this enough. We want to congratulate you guys on their most recent championship, well earned. What a way to get to know kind of Jeremy's leadership philosophy by having him on the show. I hope you guys enjoyed your time here, and I hope you'll come back in the near future. We'd love to have you again.
I'll definitely join.
Hell
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely.
Oh, hell
And
yeah.
if you guys could just stick around just for a few minutes for the after party, what we're going to do is we're going to close. Stomps, any further questions?
No, this was great. I think next time we do it, let's have the whole team on here. Let's have a big party show. I wanted to ask some questions of Nick. Nick's one of my favorite guys. Never saw Nick until the NBHL games last summer, and
He's a tank.
he's a tank.
Yeah.
The hands are unbelievable. It's just wow, great player. But yeah, great having you guys. We love playing against and with you in some cases, and it's always a pleasure.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure. God bless. And again, as always, you're watching the Neutral Zone Season 2, Episode 16. And to the Southsiders, all I can say in closing is thanks for stopping by.
For having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Much appreciated. You guys are the best.
What we live in, back and forth through the kitchen. Remember when the nights we spent out seemed so far away, distant in the trees.